Hello again everyone and welcome back to The Witcher 2. We are back here in Vergen and we are going to move on and try and pursue a different quest hopefully. Can maybe go and talk to Philippa, ideally. I think that's probably what we should want to do next. Oh, this is the council room, isn't it? No, I don't need to go in there. So we may have messed up in the last episode because I talked to Stennis and I seem to have exhausted his conversation and he basically got sick of me and now he's continuously telling me to get out. So now I don't know if we're going to easily be able to get some blood from him. Feel like I've made a mistake. Do I have... Can I sell much more stuff to Haggard, just out of curiosity? I absolutely do not want to play any more dice poker after the last episode either, because that was an absolute ordeal. Pickaxe and a bastard sword. Yeah, this stuff. We just need to get rid of. Bulvar. What about that trophy? Is there any... Would any of those trophies be better? Plus 3 armor and plus 50 vitality. I mean, that's plus 8 vitality, so plus 8 armor, so that would be good, but I think I'll stick with the Karen trophy for now. Right, is this Philippa's home? It is indeed. Oh, okay. He didn't even knock. Maybe we should have knocked. Good day, Philippa. Or Miss Aleheart.
What is it, Witcher?
Who is that girl?
Cynthia, a leashed sorceress.
A leashed
charming
sorceress.
expression.
Lovely.
Do you also use muzzles?
Leash means a connection between a sorceress and her assistant. An unfortunate term, I admit, but it explains how things are. Cynthia can tap my power, use my spells. She's a conduit.
That's interesting.
And she's learning along the way.
It's not necessarily a problem, is
and
it?
Except for the name, not derisive at all. But you're not here to talk about Cynthia.
Right, so we have a load of things we can ask her. So what are you doing in
How
Aedirn?
is it that King Radovid's court sorceress and advisor is supporting rebellion in Aedirn?
This has grown into more than a simple rebellion, Witcher. Prince Stennis' arrival here confirmed Saskia's right to represent Aedirn.
Saskia isn't fighting for Aedirn, but for the Pontar Valley. Even Prince Stennis considers you rebels. He hasn't moved against you because war with Kedwen hangs by a thread. Why are you here, Sorceress of Tretogor?
It is my duty. If Henselt occupies the Pontar Valley, Redania and Temeria will respond strongly. The North will disintegrate, its unity gone. A dark scenario that is nevertheless avoidable, provided Saskia is successful and wins the Valley's independence.
Fair.
Even if she thwarts Henselt, there'll be no independence without agreement from Redania and Temeria.
Temeria's expansionist plans melted away with Foltest's death. Redania's ruler is unpredictable, but even he'll have to respect a victory. I'm here
Who
to
is
make this
Redania's
victory
ruler?
a fact.
I'm not sure, you know. Okay, I heard Saskia
Is
kill a
what they say
dragon.
true? Did Saskia kill a dragon?
Prince Stennis decorated her for it at the court in Vengerberg, so it appears to be true. If you want to know the details, talk to Biggerhorn. Apparently he witnessed it.
Biggerhorn? Who's Letho?
Have you heard about a Witcher's school? Apparently the Viper's their sign.
No, why do you ask?
The Kingslayer wears a medallion adorned with a viper.
Pretentious and childish for my taste. He can't be very smart.
Okay, charming.
A sorceress like you ought to know bundles about the wild hunt.
A sorceress's knowledge has nothing to do with superstitions.
The hunt's not a superstition.
True, the phenomenon seems to exist.
I want to know everything there is to know about it.
It's strictly atmospheric. It doesn't interest me. Just as whirlwinds, whirlpools, and snowfalls do not interest me.
Oh, can we get rid of the tattoo?
Know how to remove a tattoo?
There's a cure for everything, except stupidity. I'll need some green mold, white myrtle petals, and wolf's aloe.
Ah, so it's the
I'll be back
exact
once I've found the
same
ingredients.
recipe that Triss offered. So there is still a chance. So we need to make sure that we gather as much ingredients as possible when we're out and about. Right. So questions about the
At
curse.
the council, you mentioned artifacts were needed to undo the curse.
But I can't look for them now.
I can do that.
Why?
I have my reasons. Tell me something. What happened here 3 years ago?
Henselt attacked Edern, but met his match. Nobody won that war. Sabrina Glefisig got into a conflict with the commander-in-chief of the Kedweni forces, and this led to both armies being routed. Fireballs turned the battlefield into a flaming tomb. Henselt accused Sabrina of using a forbidden weapon.
And Sabrina cursed Henselt.
I think so. I suspect the curse got out of hand because of the circumstances.
Circumstances? The stars weren't right, wrong phase of the moon. There's always an excuse for simple bungling.
She placed the curse while burning at the stake. Her
Oh,
hands
Jesus
and
Christ.
feet nailed to a wagon wheel. I'd say she did a good job considering.
Right.
Did you notice? Not all the ghosts were aggressive.
Yes. Most just disappeared when they touched the aura of a living person.
I think the curse corrupts the ghosts of the fallen and turns them into draugrs.
Is that the Witcher's professional name for wraiths?
Draugrs are demons of war. They arise at sites of exceptionally vicious, bloody battles. Their
What, from
bloodlust and hatred in
Draugrs from
condensed
Skyrim?
form.
Oh, interesting.
Can you kill them by conventional means?
They also exist in The Witcher too.
A silver sword is enough for a draugr, but as long as the curse remains active, new ones will arise. The soldiers' ghosts are the key. If I could turn the tide of the battle...
For that you'll need symbols of war belonging to those who fell in battle. Hatred, death, courage, and faith. All artifacts must be magically active and connected to the fallen, or they won't lure the ghosts.
Right. I'll look around.
Finding two will be enough. Get the symbols of hatred and death and leave the rest to me.
I'd prefer courage and faith.
Don't fuss.
I'll see what I can do. Cecil seems to know a lot about the area.
That he does.
Know anything about blood curses?
Do you?
We're dealing with a 4th level curse, also known as the Curse of the Archmistress.
Well, well, I'm impressed.
Thing is, until now I thought it was only a myth, that such a curse couldn't be cast.
You thought wrong. There are 6 confirmed cases of this curse being inflicted.
What about confirmed cases of it being lifted?
1. Achieved by a team of sorcerers led by Archmistress Francesca Finderbear,
Oh,
hence the curse's
okay.
other name. Sabrina Glevizig was on the team.
Small world.
That's not all. The curse investigated by Francesca and Sabrina was designed to end the Tyson dynasty, the rulers of Kovir. They were cursed by Scarlet Rodalega, a complete madman, but very talented. An eclipse and wraiths also accompanied his curse.
So Sabrina's curse is just a knockoff Rodalega.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Can Francesca's experience help us?
Certainly. I know the symbols and the workings of the curse thanks to her.
Care to explain? I'm the one risking my neck.
You'll have to relive the battle and change its course at the right moment. I don't know exactly what will happen. Nobody does.
I'll look for those artifacts.
So we have to change the course of the battle. I feel like this is something that we've ran into quite a few times recently, hasn't it? I'm sure it happened in Skyrim. Was it in this game as well, potentially? I'm not even sure. And we did it in Oblivion as well with the fort, where we had to kind of save all these soldiers, if you guys remember. Okay.
I'm good for now.
Right, what else have we got
You wanted...
from this lasso?
I've found an immortelle.
Excellent.
I found quite a few, actually.
You wanted...
You said we'd need a magical object to cure Saskia. Any ideas where I might start looking?
Magical items do not grow on trees, as you know. Luckily, this area has a long history. There's the Battle of Wraiths, the site of Sabrina Glevisig's death and suffering, the abandoned mines.
We've been in
Also,
the abandoned
be
mines.
specific.
Nothing
I
there.
won't ask you to traipse around with a divining rod, but please try to be a little inventive. Ask the locals, that's always a good place to start. I dare say Alderman Burden knows every last stone in the area. Maybe you should see him.
Okay.
You wanted...
Looking for Triss.
I'm looking for Triss. Letho forced her to teleport near Vergen.
Letho?
Voltest's killer, perhaps Demavend's too. Will you help me find her?
Yes, he
Certainly.
did. We know he killed
These
Demavend.
sorceresses must stick together. We have too many enemies.
Triss contacted you through Sheila de Tanzerville's megascope while in Flotsam.
And I haven't heard from her since.
Can you locate
Yeah,
her?
where is
The
Sheila?
megascope responds to a person's aura. If I had something of hers, I could find her. You were close to her. Maybe you have something.
No, I don't have anything.
Not good. Wait. A local drunkard claims he saw a redhead fall out of the sky. This could be a lead.
Or it could be a hallucination. Triss is hardly the only redhead
many
around.
redheads.
Yeah.
Perhaps they're just drunken delusions. It's possible, however, that an unstable teleport ejected Triss near the town.
As it's our only lead, I'll talk to this drunkard. Do you know him?
I'm not used to associating with drunkards, but you'll likely find him in the inn.
Thank you.
Come back as soon as you learn anything.
Thank you, Philippa. Much obliged.
You wanted to
Anything else? No.
remember the antidote for Saskia. It's very important.
Wait, we actually mentioned... Oh, no, we did, no. I was going to ask if we actually mentioned the fact about Saskia killing a dragon, but we did. Cynthia. Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Cynthia, a mage in training. Philippa is my mentor.
My condolences.
Very proud.
Jesus
True,
Christ,
she's a
Geralt.
demanding mistress, but she can also be charming. Besides, she's the best there is, Witcher. She has no equals, excepting perhaps the old elven sorceresses. You should see her cast spells. Light and graceful she is, not like that old tart de Tanzerville.
Ha! Nice.
Just out of curiosity, how much does a magic course cost these days?
I'm certain you can't afford it, Witcher. Besides, you're too old.
No
Charming.
matter. I have a few of my own tricks as it is.
You mean Witcher's signs? Philippa can conjure up the illusion of a garden full of flowers, fruit trees, and young elves of both sexes copulating merrily all the day. And the illusion is complete. The flowers have an aroma. The fruit and she-elves are juicy.
Invite me over the
The
next
fruit
time
and
she
shells are
conjures up this
juicy.
garden. I'd gladly see it. Professional curiosity.
Naturally. But I doubt Philippa's in the mood for
Is this girl
complicated
lesbian?
illusions.
Because of the
She
fact that she was
focuses all her
rubbing
efforts
Philippa's
on
shoulders
Saskia.
and the fact that she just described shelves as juicy. Who knows?
You know Sheila?
I've seen her cast spells. I've seen all the great sorceresses at work. Sheila's quite manly in her style. Precise, logical, exceptionally composed. But she lacks grace and suppleness.
Is that your opinion? Or are you just repeating what Philippa says?
We agree in our assessment. Triss Marigold, on the other hand, is talented. But she lacks determination, courage, and a certain cold willfulness that seems necessary.
That's interesting.
Kira Metz and Margarita Lo Antiel are both blasé, seemingly resigned. One's a hedonist and nymphomaniac, the other cares only about her school. They lost enthusiasm for magic long ago. Then there's Francesca Finderbear. Nobody really knows what the old she-elf is capable of. But she's clearly very powerful.
This we
I
know.
take it Philippa has none of these flaws, but she must have some weakness.
Ambition. Infinite, boundless, and burning like the Korath desert.
Jesus Christ, you... Like a PR woman. Might as well get a megaphone and just go wild. Hey boy, right. So, let's actually work out where we need to go. So, one of the ingredients needed for the Dragon Slayer's cure is a magical artifact, an item radiating powerful energy. The sorcerers could not create one on the fly, and time was against them, so the Witcher headed outside to ask around the town about magical intersections, ruins, legends of any treasure. In a word, about places where he could find an item of the kind he needed. Entering the streets, Geralt thought deeply about which townspeople would be best informed about those who like collecting stories. I'll check the inn, and I'll check Cecil as well. And then there's the dwarf who saw Triss apparently as well. It turned out that someone in Vergen might have encountered Triss. The dwarf had seen a red-haired woman fall from the sky. The Witcher decided this had not been the passenger of an unruly broom, and assumed instead that had been Triss falling out of a portal. He immediately went to see that dwarf. Right, then we have death symbolized. One of the artifacts needed to lift the curse on the battlefield was to symbolize death. Having no idea what is to look for, the witches took Philippa's advice and decided to talk to Cecil Burden. Vergen's alderman knew a lot about the battle between the Kedwani and Edenian armies, so he would likely give Geralt a good lead. And there's a symbol of hatred as well. The Witcher learned that to lift the curse on the battlefield need mementos of the battle representing virtues and horrors of war. He was concerned because he knew very little about the clash between the Edenian and Kedwani armies. Philippa Eilhard then told him to see Cecil Burden, Vergen's alderman, who was reputed to be a real trove of knowledge on the subject. Geralt went off to question the dwarf about the battle. Right. So let's go and see this dwarf, who apparently spotted Triss falling from the sky, because that's a totally normal occurrence. I wonder if maybe Zoltan might know something as well. Or Dandelion, maybe? He might know. Potentially. Any more notices? No, we have no more notices.
Let me tell you about the woman who fell from the sky.
Oh, it's... Oh, the woman who fell from the sky! It's the same dude! Ah,
I
okay.
heard you saw something interesting.
As clearly as I see you. Amazing. I look into the sky. But wait, you must buy a fellow a drink for such a story.
Ah,
You
gee, really?
shut it already. We could all recite this bullshit now.
I'm a client and I'll say what I want. Pour me some Mahakaman mead and no cheating. This noble wayfarer will pay.
I'll pay, sure. 15.
I'll pay. But if you bore me, I'll shove this meat up your ass.
Such a fine liquor. And my ass has no taste. You won't regret it.
Speak.
Last week I was passing by the gullies. I like to take a hike from...
Look at his face.
Hush. So I'm walking and suddenly there's a flash, a crack. I'm thinking, a storm's coming. But nary a cloud in the sky.
You hit the ground with your arse so hard you saw a flash. You were that drunk.
Then I saw people lying in a gully as if they'd fallen from the sky. A man and a woman.
Ah,
The
that
woman
fits
was
the bill.
so beautiful. I wished she'd fallen down on me.
What did she look like?
What did the woman look like?
A redhead, wearing a vest and high shoes, with pert tits and a round arse, just waiting to be grabbed and...
Oh god, calm down.
Sounds just like your old lady.
Shut your mouth!
What happened then?
Well, the woman was hurting, couldn't get up. The man clearly disliked her, because he didn't help her. He just stood there, menacing and talking, and then he left. And the redhead stayed.
Noticed her tits, but didn't even try to help her, you sod.
I was about to do exactly that when a troll came out of the gully, ugly as shit after blueberries.
Did it attack her?
Not at all. I hid and saw everything. First he sniffed her, so I thought he'd eat her. But he didn't. He threw her over his shoulder like a sack and returned to the gully.
A troll's kidnapped Triss?
Yes. Didn't waste your money, as you'll agree.
Search the ravines mentioned by the old dwarf. Really? So Letho just left Triss alone? That is curious.
I taught Scalen a lesson.
Oh yeah.
Jubium
Heard his joints crack.
probably already has a compress of firm young tits on his arm. In any case, I'm grateful and want you to have this rune stone.
Hey, Earth Rune, nice, lovely. Can we use that immediately, or? Earth Rune. Vitality plus 25, damage reduction on block. Oh yeah, I'll use that, why not? Yarpen? I pretty much thrashed Scalen, yep.
Considers
Always told the old fart. You're a good sort, girl.
Hey, another rune stone, a fire rune. Zoltan's passed out. Okay, Dandelion? Do you know anything? No. Brilliant.
He travels the land, killing monsters for Queen.
Right, so, I mean, Cecil's the person who I should probably speak to next. Where are we? Talk to Cecil Burden, here we go. Where is this man? Very worrying things we need to find, by the way. A symbol of death and a symbol of hatred just sounds grim. I imagine on that battlefield we'll probably find it somewhere, though. Let's That's the only positive. The only positive is some relative confidence that we will find them. The place is so damn miserable. Wonder if Cecil's brother as well might know anything. Right, Cecil. Here we go.
Cecil, do you know anyone who fought in the war 3 years ago?
I did.
Did you fight here at Vergen?
Course.
Philippa claims you know a bit about the battle.
That old cook insult, called king by some, thought that Adernians were bumpkins who'd shit bricks as soon as his troops crossed the river.
Why did he attack Edirn?
According to Henselt, Upper Edirn is the ancient legacy of the Kedwenny crown and must be returned to the mother country. Brazen farter.
That brazen farter had a point. If you read some history, you'll know that 300 years ago this land belonged to Kedwen.
Load of crab. 700 years ago the elves reigned here, and 1,000,000 years ago these lands were the domain of the worms. If things worked that way, every king could invade a neighboring land and claim his right to do so because an ancestor took a dump there.
All right.
He's got a point,
Hansel
to be
wanted
honest,
conquer Upper Edirn.
yeah.
What then?
He rolled in, got hammered, and rolled out.
Cecil, that doesn't help me much.
It wasn't a battle. It was a slaughter. If I try speaking of it, I'll see it all again. I don't want.
The ghosts of the fallen fight in the mist. They turn into horrible creatures called Draugrs. Edirnians, Kedwenny, men, elves, and dwarves too.
Bloody hell. No peace even after death.
I want to help them, but I need to know more about the battle.
Very well. Listen, a beautiful day that grew hot later. Very hot.
Very
When
hot.
Van de Grift attacked in the afternoon, he sent a dun banner at the fore. Many of our lads shit themselves at the mere sight of their standard, but we had a surprise of our own. Under the cover of night, we prepared fire pits. Our archers lit them up at the right moment. I still can't believe we managed to fool their scouts. If it wasn't for that ambush, we wouldn't be speaking today. They likely wouldn't be in Upper Edirn at all. We decimated the dun banner, but that was only the beginning. Seltkirk was our commander. Everywhere he appeared, the Kedwennies gave ground. He wreaked havoc among them. Hearts rose at the mere sight of his armor.
Yeah, this guy was a
Then
beast, wasn't he?
Van de Grift himself entered the fray. Seltkirk met him in the middle of the field. In the end, Van de Grift killed Seltkirk. A terrible death that sent the Adernian ranks into disarray. I thought it was the end of us. Then the sky fell, as if the stars themselves had decided to avenge the death of a great knight. Fire covered the battlefield. Nobody sought the enemy. They were all looking for somewhere to flee. Yes, there were no more friends and enemies, only the living and the dead.
Jesus
They
Christ.
say it was the doing of a Kidwenny sorceress who wanted revenge on Van de Grift. Could be true, as Henselt had her executed right after the battle.
It makes sense because if Van de Grift killed Seltkirk, then obviously the battle was actually going in Kedwenny's favour, Cadwyn's favour, I should say. So there's obviously no reason to go crazy like that from the sorceress's perspective. You wouldn't think, unless she had an ulterior motive.
Remember anything from before the battle?
As if it was yesterday. Henselt's troops crossed the Pontar the third day after the autumn equinox. Edirn had good spies, so we were ready for them, and Seltkirk lined up our troops along the hills. Our hearts rose at the sight of the banners of Vengerberg, Aldersberg, and Gullet fluttering in the wind. Knights
As
and
in
armored
Jacques
infantry
d'Aldersberg?
side by side in our ranks.
hope not.
Even the peasants had their regiments. The dwarves were on the left flank. Over 5,000 strong we were. Nobody caring about race or background, like never before. Only King Demavend was missing, but he must have had more important business than defending his country.
Well, he's dead now, so yeah.
You saw the Kedwennies cross the river?
From afar, I saw Van de Grift leading 4,000 heavily armed men. Many a heart sank when we saw the elite bearheads or the armoured banners from Ad Carreg. The Dun banner was in the middle, veterans of Brenna. As soon as he set foot on Adernian land, Van de Grift climbed a hill and surveyed the area, as if it was his fief. Son of a bitch was as sure of himself as ever. Upon spying him, I remember the dwarves all dropped their trousers and showed him their asses. Then Selkirk stepped out in front of us. His white armor shone in the sun. We were afraid a Kidwini arbalist would shoot him, but they too stood as if frozen, and Selkirk just looked at them and bowed ever so slightly.
That is a true hero right there.
You captured the Dunbanner standard?
Henselt's choice troops, and not a one survived. The visitors sent them to their deaths, refused to give them reinforcements. He was a monster in human form. The men of the Dun were real swaggerers, killed a lot of our lads, but for every Dunner, there were 7 Adarnians. They had no chance. Aye, we captured their standard. We buried what was left of them in the crypts beyond Vergen. Their standard lies with them. Worthy foes are to be respected, even in death.
I'm going to need that standard.
Well, at least we know where it is.
Did you see the duel between Selkirk and Vandergrift?
I stood half a furlong from them. Never seen a fight like it. Probably never will again. They'd already met once at a jousting tournament in Ardcraig. Selkirk won there. He beat on the visitor so hard he broke his sword. Selkirk was a true knight, the last of his breed. Vandergrift was so pissed off after that tournament he hanged the smith who made his sword and ordered a special one from a sorcerer. I bet he cut down Selkirk with that new sword.
He must have done.
Vandergrift is dead. What happened to his sword?
Saskia's got it. Good thing too. Only her hand
Saskia
contained
has
the
it.
hatred enchanted in that sword. After the battle, when the flames abated, the scavengers came. They stole everything. Imagine, not a single keepsake of Selkirk in the whole of Edirn. His brother babbles something about a gauntlet, but he's a lying dog.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Cecil.
Cecil.
That was helpful. I think I know what I need to lift the curse now.
Madame Eilhart claims you need 4 symbols. The standard symbolizes death. Vandergrift's sword stands for hatred. What about the other 2?
I have a feeling Philippa has a handle on the rest.
She says she
Here's
does.
hoping you're right.
Okay, go to the catacombs in the forest to find the Dunbanner standard. And wait for events to unfold as well. Oh, really? So we can actually go and get the sword. Oh yeah, because Saskia has it. After hearing the Witcher out, Cecil Burton stroked his beard and began his tale of the Dun Banner. The Dun was the unit of Kidwini-like cavalry known far beyond the borders of Henselt's kingdom. Its soldiers to take a part in the battle, and their standard, easily recognised by any veteran from the north, could very well be the symbol of death. The unit's standard was buried in the forest crypt alongside the fallen soldiers. The Witcher had to find the tomb and the artifact. And Cecil did not disappoint. He knew a lot and gladly shared his knowledge. The alderman told Geralt that the symbol of hatred could only be the sword of the infamous Vandergrift, bearing the dreaded but fitting name of Hatred. Unfortunately, the blade belonged to Saskia the Dragon Slayer, who had been poisoned and lay dying. Though the Witcher had stolen from the dead or dying in the past, in this instance he decided to stay his hand. So we need to wait until we're actually able to get that sword now. Okay. That's fine. Right. So we still need to find this. Talk to townsfolk about magical locations. Does Cecil know? Saskia needs medicine.
Saskia needs help, Cecil. Philippa can produce an antidote, but she needs a magic artifact to do that.
Would you like a fern and a dancing worm to go with it? Listen, I don't know about magic, but there is a place, as long as I can remember, it's been of interest to sorcerers. They say it's a very strong intersection. Look for magic there.
Where exactly is there?
Seek out the ruins in the forest beyond Bergen. There's a place of power there. You can't miss it. Why so glum? Saskia's a tough girl. She'll bounce back. Keep your head up.
I hope
Thanks,
so.
Cecil.
No, Witcher. I thank you. Save that lass, and you'll save my town.
Find the place of power which Cecil Burden mentioned. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this episode, guys. I know it's been a long one, but obviously wanted to hear Cecil out properly. So I hope you all have enjoyed. If you have, then please do like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I shall catch you in the next episode of The Witcher 2. Thanks again, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.